Let's take a look at the 4 female Supreme Court judges of the United States that we've had and continue to have, a few of them still serving. Now, this one actually looks a lot like a guy I know who is kind of a heavy-set guy. Looks just like this, actually. Like they could be brothers. And I'm not the only guy to think this, right? So going way back when it first got nominated, people on social media saying that Elena looks like a man. A radical liberal tranny. In 2010, people were saying this, all right? People were saying it looks like this dude, Kevin James. Similar shape of the skull. Although that guy may be an FTM, you never know. Kagan seems like an SNL skit. Yeah, it does, right? The government basically is a giant SNL skit. People back in 2010 already caught on to this, basically. And they were right. They probably didn't even realize how right they were. It looks very similar, right? Mall cop, Supreme Court. It's the same thing. It's just a movie. It's fake. There is no government, all right? Think the government's real? Right, and it's kind of tough when they get all chubby like this sometimes, right? Because you can't, it's kind of hiding the bones, but you can see the deep-set eyes again. It's got earrings and lipstick, and that's about it. Pearl necklace, Look at that face, though. You can just tell this is dude. It's a man personality. Sitting on in that fireplace room where all the trannies go. Brow ridge, It's just a heavy-set dude, all right? Looks exactly, it's like if you put makeup on the guy I'm thinking of, he would look exactly like this. So that's how they pull it off, right? They just look like unattractive women. That's how they do it. The movie stars usually have to look a little bit more attractive. It takes a bit more effort, a little more surgery and hormones and stuff. These people here, very minimal. It's really, for the most part, just makeup and clothing. Very minimal surgery, minimal hormones. The phoenix, the scarab. It's all right there, man. All right, we live in Babylon. We live in Sodom and Gomorrah, Egypt. It's the same group of people. It's the same thing. All right, they're a bunch of pagan, heathen Satanists. It's the same people that were back then, a few thousand years ago. It's the same group of people doing the same thing with the same agenda. Nothing has changed. Large and in charge. Yeah, these government trannies, man, they all kind of have that same look, don't they? You'd think there'd be like a good-looking one in the bunch somewhere if there was a real woman, right? You'd have, this is scary. If this person came into my office and, I'd be like, whoa, why is there a cross-dresser coming into my office? They softened it up, just ate a few donuts. Oh, yeah, look at the posture there. Very masculine. No, I forget who that one is. I think that one's, it's probably some senator or governor. It was in a recent video, I believe. It's the size of that skull, right? Maybe you know somebody who looks like that too. There's one that's younger. This is a young man, young boy, Look at that right there. It's a young dude, long hair, man. Already, they grow up as the opposite gender. You can see a bit of Adam's apple there. That's a dude. Right there is the dude, all right? Long-haired dude. Could have played in Black Sabbath, come on. Another tranny on the right there. Not sure who that is. Another government tranny. Of course, Harvard Law School. I think it was the dean or something, Of course, Harvard's full of trannies, man. Come on. The big old fake smile, right? Just so it throws us off a little bit. They just look like a bunch of clowns, man. They're supposed to be kind of like serious, intelligent people, Why do they sit around smiling with that evil grimace? There's that other one too, right? These are very scary, freaky-looking people. The long arms hanging way down, halfway between the waist and the knees, right? Let's take a look at this one here. Sandra Day O'Connor. I believe this is the first female Supreme Court judge, and it's, in fact, not a female. This is a man. Take a look. Just look at it. Think for yourself. Yeah, that's a dude, all right? That's a man. Look at the eye sockets. Deep-set eyes, brow ridge, male jaw. Looks like it's shaved well. You could easily imagine this one having a mustache, broad shoulders, right? Look at those eye sockets right there, man. Looks like one of those wigs they used to wear back in the George Washington times. The law of the land is lawlessness, isn't it? Sodomy. There it is when it's a young man. Look at that face, the shoulders. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that face there, man. Of course, cover of Time magazine. Justice at last. Yeah, justice for the sodomites. That's exactly what they're doing. They're changing the laws. And there's Mrs. Reagan and Mr. Reagan in the back. Yeah, Mr. Reagan looks just like a big girl, huh? To me. I mean, who knows what that suit's too big or what? The wife is definitely a tranny. Look at that skull. My cat's freaking out over there. Hey. Broad shoulders. You can even see they're broader than the hips there. Finger test comes in as a man, as does the skull test. That's why they raise their hand, just to make sure that it's a tranny, right? They wouldn't want to mistakenly nominate a real female for this position. Tranny skull. Cheekbones, right? The high cheekbones of a man. Thick neck. There's Bush. Obama putting some kind of occult pentagram kind of thing around its neck. All right, now we'll transition into this thing on the right with the huge glasses. Oh, there's got the small glasses. Yeah, quite a skull that one's got. Whoa. Okay, we got Ruth Bader Ginsburg, an androgynous Kabbalist. Straight out of Babylon. Oral traditions of the rabbis, giving us their wisdom. There it is when it's younger. A bit hard to tell. Hand in the pockets. Doesn't look like it has a straight up and down torso there. Big skull. There too, pretty passable for the most part, Not a very good photo. Yeah, a very tiny one, huh? Tiny Jewish man. There's Bill with a feminine face. Look at that, man. Doesn't it look like, Woody Allen or somebody? Gollum? This one, it's just a dude in drag. Sloping back forehead. And in a way, it kind of does look like Allen Ginsberg. I'm not sure if they're related or not. Yeah, look at that right there, man. That's a dude, all right? That's a man in drag. Oh, that's who it looks like, this guy, Larry King. Yeah, it looks just like him, doesn't it? Now, I'm not saying they're the same person. I'm just saying it's funny how they look like, and it looks like a man, right? So they could be related. I don't know. Who knows? Do you think it's a coincidence, They came out of the same breeding program, possibly, right? Same bloodlines. I mean, these people always look like a whole bunch of other people. But it always looks like a man. So a man in drag can pass off pretty easily as an ugly woman, right? That's what the politicians are doing. And they look all homely and stuff, and they're kind of non-threatening in a way. We almost feel sorry for them, but they hold very powerful positions, right? The Supreme Court, man. I mean, that's where the deal goes down, right? That's where the laws are decided, ultimately. What kind of laws do you think they're going to pass? Yeah, it's like a witch, like an elf. Yeah, interesting character, man. Brow ridge, some kind of creature, an elf-like fairy or something. Very tiny little person. Whoa, freaky, man. Very freaky. The icons, 100 most influential people. Got those thin little lips, right? It's like a wizard. It's like something Jimmy Page would wear. Doing the Baphomet pose and the kind of the secret sign as well. Clever. That's why it's a judge. I'm glad this person is not my grandmother. Oh yeah, see, it's just a man with makeup. You can tell pretty clearly right there. The hands. Look at those hands, man. Just another one with a long ring finger. What a coincidence. This would be a good Halloween mask for those who celebrate that pagan holiday. For some reason, they picked that Star Wars tranny to play the part of Ruth Ginsburg in some movie coming up. Felicity Jones, I believe, is the name. The broad-shouldered, feminized boy. The hand on the hips, the big skull. It looks pretty girly overall, right? But that's a tranny. That's a Star Wars tranny. They kind of do look similar. It looks like Lana Del Rey as well there when it's younger. Big skull. Both of them have the big skulls. So it's a good casting choice, I guess. The broad shoulders, crossing the legs. You got to get a tranny to play the tranny. Oh, look at his long arms hanging way down there. And I think the original choice was Portman, Natalie Portman. But for some reason they changed. That would have been a better choice. It looks even more similar. Let's take a look at the baseball player. Sonia the Sodomite, a Latina tranny. Oh, those are always kind of hard to spot. It's kind of tough to prove this one, but I'm sensing this is another tranny as well. Look at the mouth. What is it doing? Is it going to the bathroom? Raise her hand. Oh, the finger test. Fails again. It's got male hands, all right? Male digit ratio, just like they all do. Show us your hand so we don't accidentally nominate a female. Oh, yes, you're a tranny. You get the job. broad-shouldered tranny as well. Look at that. Very broad. The broadest shoulders yet. Broad-shouldered tranny. A bit of padding in the hip area. That big old grin. Squinting the eyes, right? Just distorting the face. Now it's kind of fattened up. It looks almost like a different person. When it's younger, that looks like a young boy to me, right? Slightly feminized. I bet in person, that one probably could not pull off the deception in person. And there, very masculine looking, hunching over like that. Kind of the facial expressions. A couple of trannies right there. It's probably been in some of my videos already. There's Joe Biden's tranny wife. It's just a trans fest. Straight out of the lab, man. These people are just laughing at us. Controlling society. Well, God's going to take care of them. Oh, and now we got Judge Judy. May as well be a Supreme Court justice, all right? It's a tranny and it's a judge. Get the job, all right? And it looks a lot like this Bush character, Laura Bush with the freaky eyes, demonically possessed tranny. All right, look at these freaky, scary people, all right? I'm not saying it's the same person. I'm saying they look the same. They're possibly related. They came out of the same hatchery. The brow ridge, the skull, the big old fake clown smile, all right? Judge Judy's a man. Been on TV for 25 years or so, all right? Might as well be a Supreme Court justice. Government is just a scripted reality show at best. It's all a big joke, man. Another sodomite judge. Adam's apple, high cheekbones, brow ridge, making the funny face, very funny face for a judge, right? Not very sober, right? Supposed to be as sober as a judge. This is like a drunken sodomite judge. Put some clothes on. This is like a 70-year-old tranny with no body fat whatsoever. All right, hanging out with the Brady Bunch tranny. They're everywhere. Oh, and now they're kissing. Come on. Hey, sodomy is the law of the land, all right? They'll change the laws. It's just biblical prophecy unfolding right before our eyes, man. Nothing's changed in the last 4,000 or 5,000 years. These sodomites have always been around, and they've been powerful most of the time, actually. Read the book of Kings and Chronicles, which I'm reading now. I'll talk about it soon in more detail. I found out some pretty interesting things about the origins of these peoples, man. Yeah, well, a pretty close digit ratio there. It's tough to see with that angle. Oh, yeah, it's the big skull. Does not have huge shoulders necessarily. It's hard to get a sense. Oh, there's the body. The skull gives this one away. Doesn't look like a huge person overall. It's just a fake, phony, clown-like tranny. All right, well, that's the government for you. Law of the land is lawlessness.